Hello, welcome to the Diaspora panel, the voice of the diaspora. With me, Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, who is based in America. Mr. Adedigba, you are welcome to today's meeting.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be here.
I also have Mr. Lawal, who is based in Canada. Mr. Lawal, you are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
My name is Deja. I am the host and I am based in Ireland. So there was a revelation going on internet by the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam El Rufai, who wrote a letter to, well, we saw the letter on the internet. I don't know whether it's true or not. And it was said that he actually said that some newspaper said he said that the NSA, National Security Advisor to the President, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, has imported a substance called thallium sulphate. It's an odorless, colorless poison. The type that was used to kill MKO Abiola in 1998. MKO Abiola, for those who don't know, is the acclaimed winner of the 1992 or 1993 presidential election. He was detained by the then maximum ruler, General Sonny Abacha, and on a certain day, after the death of Abiola, MKO himself was poisoned with a cup of tea. Is it tea or coffee? Not very sure. So it was confirmed that the poison inside that tea was a substance that is similar, or that is thallium sulphate, because it is colorless, it is odorless, and even when you test the body of the corpse, you will not find a trace. And this substance has been banned in many countries, including America. This is a substance that secret agents use to kill presidents, to kill political enemies of presidents. So I'm going to come to you first, Lighton. If Nuhu Ribadu has imported thallium sulphate, what kind of use do you think it will be for?
Thank you for that question. Yeah, the thallium sulphate is used by the mafias and the secret agents who work for the states. Like you rightly said, it was substance that was injected into the tea for late Chief MKO Abiola. These are the things they normally do to maul people out of existence. And the thallium sulphate, Nuhu Ribadu raised some fundamental questions there. What is it meant for? Yeah, how is it going to be kept? Who is the target? These are the questions the government need to answer. Because Nuhu Ribadu works for the states. He's head of the secret agent in Nigeria. So he needs to tell us, right? He owes that explanation. Be as it may. What baffles me is the way information is leaked every day in the presidency, anywhere. Let me just mention it. No confidentiality again in the government departments. These are the highly confidential information. How it got out, we don't know. Whatever you want to import is the government is nobody can check it. right? Nobody, the government would want to import anything to Nigeria. Why should, how are they divulging information? How is government information is leaking outside? It baffles me a lot. Nobody is safe there. Mr. President is not even safe. These are the people who are supposed to protect the president. The position they are, all of them, they sworn to uphold, to protect the constitution of Nigeria. None of them, they are divulging information everywhere. Information is just flying out. What the essence of importation of thallium sulphate is not known. We don't know it. We don't know what it's meant for. We don't know the target. But the government owes us explanation as to what they want to use it for. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Shupo, I want to lay a foundation for a theory. Number one, I don't believe that this thallium sulphate is going to be used to fight insurgency. It's not going to be used against Boko Haram. It's not going to be used against ISWAP. It's not going to be used against militants. It's going to be used for somebody in power that is to be eliminated. That's number one. So number two, I don't think the president wants to eliminate anybody. He's already president. So I don't think he wants to eliminate anybody. So I think that if the president doesn't know about this import, if this thallium sulphate was imported and the president does not know about it, then it's most likely that this substance is meant to poison the president himself. The only reason why we are hearing this in the public domain is because there's a rift between Rufai and Nuhu Ribadu. That's why we are hearing. If there's no rift between them, this wouldn't have come out. And I'm thinking in my head that the reason why the two of them are fighting is because they both want to be president. Rufai wants to be president, he started in 2031. Nuhu Ribadu wants to be president, he started in 2031. Now imagine, we are hearing now that Shetima is going to be discarded in 2027. That people, they don't like Shetima. So I am thinking the closest person to the president who might likely occupy that post could be Nuhu Ribadu. It could be Nuhu Ribadu, who has imported the thallium sulphate. If Ribadu becomes vice president in 2027 and he has thallium sulphate and the president doesn't know, and I don't know whether you know what I'm thinking. If anything happens to the president, Ribadu will become president. Yeah. So it's most likely that this thallium sulphate, most likely, it could be that it is meant to do exactly to President Bola Tinubu, exactly what the Northerners did to MKO Abiola. What do you think?
Okay, so let's take it one by one. I think first and foremost, what exactly is thallium sulphate? For much of the 20th century, it was used as a component for rat poison because it is colorless, it is tasteless, and it is very, very highly effective in small doses. It was banned in many countries because it caused accidental poisonings in humans. It was misused in criminal cases, and it also contaminated environments. So, it's prohibited, I believe, in many jurisdictions for household rodent control. But primarily, I think that was, what it was mainly used for. Okay, so, with that understanding, then let's come back to your question. I think the first issue is it is not unusual that controlled substances are ordered and are dispatched. There are, in advanced societies, there are legal ways of acquiring substances that will have what we call dual use, as long as the acquisition goes through proper process checks and balances. There are components, for example, that could be used in making fertilizer that also may be used in making explosives. So it doesn't mean that people can't order it. It just means that there has to be additional scrutiny and a due process through which it can be legally obtained. And then what also happens is, even after it is legally obtained, its use is tracked to ensure that it is not used for the other dual use, which could be nefarious reasons. Now, why would the NSA even be ordering this? I mean, the NSA is not in the business of making rat poison. So what would be a logical reason to order this? Even if the NSA offices were infested by rodents, the job of getting rid of the rodents is not going to be done by the NSA office. It's probably going to be contracted out to the appropriate organizations that do that. So the fact that the NSA is ordering this, it raises questions. Why are they ordering it, and who ordered it, and for what purposes? Now, I personally don't expect the NSA to answer the letter that Nasir El-Rufai wrote, because first and foremost, I don't believe that citizens can question any of the security agencies. They can bring it up in oversight hearings in the House, but assuming that it was acquired by the NSA, I think it's a very serious question, knowing exactly that this is a substance that is tasteless, that is odorless, that could be used to eliminate human sources. So I think some form of investigation needs to be conducted, because this is not like the NSA acquiring weapons, understand, for maybe security agencies, or anything of that nature. That will be something that will be a legitimate activity that the NSA may be involved in. So this is a very serious question. And the other side of it is that, does the president need to know everything that the NSA is ordering? I don't believe so. But if the NSA is found to be ordering materials that are not directly in line with the duties of that agency, that should raise a red flag. And I think this should be investigated, and the reasons why this material or substance is being ordered should be thoroughly looked into.
Thank you very much. Laita, I believe very strongly that the president will not have sanctioned the purchase of a banned substance, of an illegal substance. So the question we want to ask, and I want to ask you, is, do you think the president knows about it? If the president does not know about it, then the president is in clear danger. It's in clear danger. And who are those who know about it? So Nuhu Ribadu know about it. El-Rufai know about it. Does Shatima, the vice president, know about it? Does the secretary to the government know about it? Who in the government? Who in Nigeria? Either in the opposition or in the, who knows about this? And what is, so what question do you think the president should be asking, or Nigeria should be asking?
I think security meeting should be called immediately, right? And it's not going to be shared by it should be shared by the defense minister, not by Ribadu this time around. So everything must be investigated, like it is being done in a good clan. This is a dangerous chemistry. The National Security Advisor, whose office is to protect Mr. President, will be ordering a poisonous stuff to the country without the knowledge of minister, without the knowledge of Mr. President. That is, it raises a red flag. So it is high time, without any hesitation, Mr. President should call him my emergency meeting. They should sit down, iron out, and they should come to the national media, national television, and address that issue. Right? They are representing us. They should let us know what is really going on. What is it meant for? Not that they should just sweep it under the carpet like they always do. So it is like I said, it's a dangerous chemistry. They should do it in such a way that everybody should be involved. I mean, everybody should know what is going on. Even if it will be not town hall meeting, but they should just make sure that they relay it to the people, right? It should be investigated. Not that they should. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Shepard, there was a coup attempt October last year. The coup plotters planned the coup in the office of the National Security Advisor. Now, we are now hearing the importation of thallium sulphate. Also, the office of the National Security Advisor. So, in Yoruba, there's a proverb, they said, Ojogate kojogate. You understand? So this is looking like what we don't want to think. We don't want to think in that direction, but it's looking like it. So do you think that the president should not take this lightly? This should be, as Lighton has said, this needs to be thoroughly, very thoroughly investigated. Does the president know about this importation? Is he in the know? Does he know? And does he know what it's going to be used for? That's the question. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think the Office of the National Security Advisor actually needs a complete and thorough overhaul, because it is very evident that they've been caught in, giving of weapons, for example, to community vigilantes who turn to be bandits. They've been linked to people who planned a coup, which initially was was denied, but now we know it's true. And now the NSA's office is also connected to the importation of this item. Now, let me say, just to make sure that we're very clear, thallium sulphate, because Nigeria follows international chemical control norms for substances that are deemed to be highly toxic. Thallium sulphate is not legally approved in Nigeria for general agricultural or consumer use. I mean, that is a fact.
It's an
It
illegal
does not
substance.
mean, though, because it is a toxic substance, but it does not mean that it can still not be imported. So it is not banned completely. It is banned for general or public use as it is in most countries. So that means that if there is a legitimate use for its importation, it likely will go through some kind of regulatory clearance or some form of a permit. So, but nevertheless, I think this is a very, very strong allegation. I'm calling it allegation because there is no evidence tendered yet that it was actually imported, and if it was, that it was imported by the National Security Advisor himself. So I think this needs to be investigated, and these are facts that need to be clearly proven. I think the other issue also is, if this is true, that confirms that there is a leak within the security apparatus, which is how Nasru El-Rufai didn't only find out about this, but had the audacity to actually write to the NSA. So that office needs a complete and thorough overhaul, because it looks like there are secret things that are happening in that office and information is leaking left, right, and center. I will add this, that a country that cannot secure its own communications cannot keep secrets. And if you cannot keep secrets, how, for example, can you, deploy troops to combat terrorism without, your troop movement or your plans, your tactical plans leaking to the enemy? These are very, very serious allegations. It needs to be thoroughly investigated. And I would probably even recommend that the National Security Advisor for now should leave. It should not be in any shape or fashion involved in that investigation, to ensure that it is conducted thoroughly, and the president should be briefed on the findings going forward.
Thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Olalawal, from Canada. Thank you for coming to today's meeting.
Thank you for having me.
And Mr. Olaitunadediba, all the way from America, thank you for coming.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
To all our viewers, please, if you have not yet subscribed, please click that button now so that anytime we do a new video, you'll be one of the first to be notified. We'll see you again in the next video. God bless you and goodbye.